is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, our weekly podcast about all things running and all the nonsense that goes along with running and all the fun stuff that goes along with running. And this week's not going to be that much different. Right, Robbie?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was like 3 feet away from
Yeah,
the mic.
Robbie was like stretching. He's
my
like,
stretch
I guess I'll stretch now that the show's coming on. But,
you didn't say, hi, I'm Thomas from, hi, this is Thomas. You just said, this is Thomas.
Oh.
you know,
People
I'm
are
You should greet
sure.
people.
Hello, friends.
There we go. All right. It's just 5 minutes of saying hello.
Yeah, there you go. And now a word from our sponsor. Just kidding. Stay tuned.
Just kidding. You
Yeah, don't hit that 15
you already
second.
heard that.
Yeah, somebody already just did that 15-second forward thing on us. But,
All right.
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, let's talk. First off, catch up on running.
Yeah, there's a lot to dive into this week. A lot of fun races are happening.
Yeah, and we're preparing for stuff.
Yeah.
Like Robbie's running up. It was last week to talk about. Yeah, last week we talked about your nutty run in Pennsylvania. This week you're going back for more hat training. Tell us what's going on, Robbie.
Oh, yes. So I did my peak mileage weekend or whatever.
For the hat 50K.
Yeah, for the hat 50K, which is it's pretty like legendary East Coast race.
Yeah.
Like it's like a long run
For sure.
East Coast race.
Yeah, we get Christopher McDougall's run it. We've had all kinds of celebrities come and
Like
run
a lot
it.
of some of the ultra runners on the East Coast. But anyways,
When I say celebrities, running celebrities.
yeah. So I had a 20-mile run this weekend, and
But you did 10 miles the day before, right?
no, I was going to, but I've had this pain on the top of my foot, which I think was from really wrenching down my laces on the Tecton the week before, and then like slamming downhills and stuff. So I think it cropped up like Thursday, where it was like just hurt kind of to walk on Friday. But Saturday it felt a little bit better, and so obviously I'm gonna run 20 miles.
With Matt Kucharski.
Yeah, with one of our reviewers and friends, and we just did loops in Oregon Ridge Park, which is in Maryland. And
Do you guys play the banjo the whole time you're running?
no, we just I was trying to think. We did talk about like the term holler, which we
That we
discussed
covered.
on
Yeah.
yeah. So and I was trying to explain it in my head what it was last week. And so I was like, let me just Google it just to see like the best way to describe this.
All right.
And it was kind of what I said, which is that it's like not a valley.
Between two peaks?
Not a valley, but yeah, it's like when you look up, there's just like mountains all around you.
Okay.
And then it's just like, there's usually like a stray dog in the road.
All right.
And then,
I like that.
And then
With it like an old baby doll?
yeah, there's
Oh.
always like one of those
Yeah.
baby dolls.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
Yeah. And then just like everyone knows if you're like, there's like only like one way in, one way out. Really. Yeah. Anyways.
So how'd the 20 miles go?
It was great. Yeah. It's always nice when you can do a long run with somebody else. I feel like it just
And it
makes
looked
go a
good.
lot.
I mean, your paces and stuff. It's kind of fun for me to check it out because obviously we've all around here have run Oregon Ridge. So
Yeah.
I know what your loops look like.
Yeah.
I know.
There's
yeah.
a Faster Bastards ultra that we do or whatever.
Yeah.
8-hour race. And that
The
is
Oregon Trail.
the same. Yeah. What'd you call it? Like the
Oregon Death Trail.
The death trail,
Yeah.
death race.
Death race, yeah. And so I know it. I know the challenges of that. It has a little bit of everything that you're going to find on the hat course, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
nice.
It's very comparable to the hat course. Even elevation and everything is close to the same for the distance that we did, and it was that nice. So it was a weird day because when we started, it was 45 degrees, maybe a little bit colder, and then it was like raining at one point, and then it warmed up to like 65. But
Yeah.
it was weird because when we were in the valley, it was like cold, and then you just hit this pocket as soon as you get, and it must have elevated like 15 degrees like
Oh, wow.
immediately.
Like on the backside when you're coming up that hill.
Yeah, and it was just humid and hot, and it was so weird. But it was just a very interesting temperature range. But I love the trails when they're like when they soften up a little bit to where they're almost like tacky,
Yeah.
That's like the best trail ride.
My favorite part of that course is when you're coming around after you've crossed the river stream, and then there's like this like straightaway that runs along the stream.
Yeah. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
why I
nice.
like that so much, but that's where it was probably cool for you.
Yeah, I love that part.
And you just, I don't know, you just get into a
Because
rhythm.
it's flat and
Yeah.
you've been like going up or down. And
Yeah, and
it's
it
a
just,
nice spot.
yeah, I love that.
what
spot.
shoes did you wear?
So again, I haven't had trail shoes to test, so I wore the Peg Trail 3, the Gore-Tex version, and that was pretty nice. Not like a super fast shoe, but a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
And then
Well, you guys, the goal wasn't to go fast, was it?
No, but I was trying to see if like maybe I'd wear them on race day.
Okay.
Which jury's still out on that. But then the Topo Athletic Terra Venture, which was a terrible decision because I didn't realize it was a minimal shoe.
Oh, no.
I get their names mixed up because there's like Ultra Venture, Terra Venture, like all these ventures, and I just grabbed them because I love the fit of Topo Athletic for some reason. I just love the way their uppers fit, and the grip. They have really good, nice outsole, but it was very low stack.
And you're feeling everything. And that's the problem with Maryland
Not a great
trails
idea.
is like depending on the weather, if we've had a washout or if like it's dry, the trails really change. And if you get it after a washout, you're going to feel every like little stone and bump.
Yeah, and actually that wasn't an issue. It was just the running 20 miles. The
Yeah.
second half was a little harsh.
Wait, you wore them for the second half?
Yeah.
Oh.
So even
Yeah.
Now, On is sending Robbie some trail shoes to try out, and hopefully they'll get here before
There's a package arriving today.
Oh.
Ah,
I would like if they got here before the weekend because maybe I can get out for like 10.
just see if how your feet feel.
Yeah, I think it's the Cloud Ultra, which I've never worn before.
Which would also be awesome because I think they're sending a singlet that we can customize.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so I did fall again, which like
It's
on the
trail
last
running.
but it's weird because until last run and this run, I think I've only fallen one other time ever on trails. I've fallen more on the road than on trails.
Okay, when we came back from the running event and we did the Oregon race,
Yeah.
I did, I think, 2 or 3 loops, and I fell
2 or 3 times.
2 times each loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I went down.
I will say my skateboarding skills from younger have saved me many times
Oh, I know
Because-
how to
How to
fall.
fall.
of
Yeah.
just tucking and rolling.
Yeah, you do the
Which is
shoulder
nice.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good to go. But yeah, anyways, it was a good run.
All right, you're ready to go.
I don't know. I have little aches and pains, which comes as natural.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
The closer you get to the race day, the more they'll
yeah.
pop up.
It's called Advil.
But I think I've been slamming ibuprofen nonstop. But I think I can. The actual top of the foot thing that feels pretty good at this point. It's just a little bit. So I think it's fine. I'm gonna be good.
Cool. And let's move on over here to Megan, who is like, I don't know what you've eaten. Actually, I do know what you're eating because I'm there most of the
What do you
time.
eat?
But she's freaking killing it. Like today, Meg, you did it. How many total miles?
13.
13, but 8 of them were.
I had a workout that was 8 by 1 mile repeats.
And you kind of just, so we can understand, you went out, you didn't even want to do the workout.
No, it was one of those days. Well, first of all, it was 38 degrees and like pouring rain here. So that's just hard to get out the door to
It was
start with.
like the worst weather this
Yeah.
morning.
And then I got out there and just my legs felt heavy. Like, you ever just, like,
Yeah.
your legs just feel kind of like lead?
Like every
Yeah.
time that we go on a Saturday morning run with the bastards, I'm like, I'll run to the start and I'll be like, I don't know how I'm going to run today.
Oh, and you ran
So
that.
I- I played that little game where it's like, just do one more repeat. And I just kept saying that to myself until finally the workout was over. But surprisingly, my legs felt better later towards the workout. I don't know. I think it was because my hands were frozen and they hurt so bad that the pain just changed from legs to hands. But either way, it was a confidence boosting workout.
I mean, this whole
Yeah.
training cycle should be confidence boosting.
Whoa, you snuck in a 5:55 mile in there, according to Strava.
Yeah, well, because the miles are,
Staggered.
Uneven.
yeah.
Oh, because you're doing rests.
There was 2 minutes in between each mile repeat. But
So she was actually did
Oh,
several.
So you're doing a lot of them at that pace.
Yeah.
Shoot.
but yeah, so I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just hoping I can keep it up. And
Do you
I
have
still
a
don't-
strategy for Boston?
I still don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I have a lot of people I know that want to just go sub 3, and that sounds appealing. To be with people that I know.
Yo,
And
if you get the Des Linden conditions, you might place top 25.
true. Yeah.
Especially if you stop and help Shalane in the bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, if you're practicing in this kind of garbage weather, you'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, watching your training for me this cycle has been like really enjoyable because like just I feel like you just keep getting stronger.
Yeah, I mean, we just got our blood panel back from Inside Tracker, and like all of that is going in the right direction. So I feel like
All the HGH levels are at the correct level. I'm just
Yeah, all the testosterone is not being
it's mainly always been the iron for me that's been deficient, and finally figured out how to get that up. So that's good.
Have you done any more research into whether iron levels prevent cramping?
I haven't found any significant evidence that like make this equals this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of.
There needs to be a doctor of science on this that listens to this show.
I know.
A learned man, a learned doctor.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of correlation that I feel like
Or woman.
there has to be some.
Nice save.
There has to be.
There has to, like, the fact that I didn't have any sort of leg cramps, which is the only time that this has happened in a marathon in the past 10 years, is that my iron levels are up. Like, there has to be a correlation.
I agree with you. The same thing with since I started taking iron supplement last year. No issue. I used to get cramping even after long runs, after obviously in the summertime, but even in races, for sure after races, and I haven't had any since then.
It's amazing.
So
Yeah.
get that iron up, people.
Also, Robbie's down in the cramp crushers.
Yeah, actually.
No, you didn't use them last time, right?
No, I used
No, he
Martin.
used
Martin.
them.
No, I used Martin's
Okay,
last
he did.
race.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
And he had a PR.
So,
yeah. That's
although
awesome.
I hit some cramp crushes. Oh, this past long run was the long run where like your energy gel box is down to its last
Like,
leg.
yeah.
So it's just
What I
a
got
grab.
here.
It's a grab bag of shit I want at races or shit I picked up at races, and like just,
Like the Halloween bag.
Yeah,
We have a drawer of stuff that's from races, and like
Yeah.
every once in a while I'll try something, and I'm like, oh,
dude,
God.
I did 4 different things during that long run. So I did.
Did you have a Coca-Cola?
No, I that would have been nice
Okay.
because
Because normally Kucharski has a little cooler.
we had nitro brew after the race.
Mm.
Oh, that's pretty
So I did a cramp crushers, of course, and then I did the coffee maple. Remember that maple company?
good. I love
Untapped?
those.
Yeah, Untapped.
Oh, Untapped. I love. Those would never last in my house.
Wait, it was a
that long.
coffee flavored one?
Coffee flavor.
Okay, that sounds good.
Not even flavored. It's
like a breakfast.
coffee's in it. Yeah.
Like coffee and syrup.
And syrup?
You might as well just put a
It
pancake
was,
in
it
your
was
back
pretty
pocket.
good. I'm not gonna lie. And then I did. This is the worst one. I just spit it up. Was the like the Hoppy Trails goo.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
supposed to taste like hoppy beer.
Oh,
And
no.
at first bite, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good."
Yeah.
Just like spit it all on the ground.
And yeah.
It's
No
like
good.
whenever someone parks in that parking spot, it's like gonna look out their door and be like, have no idea what just happened in that parking lot because it's a gel looks
A
disgusting.
lot of
the
goo
ground.
on the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah.
And then I think I had like something else, like a random drink mix, hydration mix.
It sounds like a good mixture there.
You survived.
Is there
You got
part of
through.
you during a long run where if you do a long run, you almost want to poorly do nutrition just to
No.
like get into
They have that. People do
Depletion
runs.
yeah, so like just to be
We've-
like this sucks.
We've debunked them.
We've discussed this on Fuel for the Soul with Megan. There is science to suggest that by completely depleting your glycogen of
yeah, it goes to the fat
like
source.
but that immediately slows you down.
Yeah, no,
Your
I'm
performance
not
is-
so much talking about that as like as a strategy. I'm just saying like sometimes for some runs doing that to gain a mental component where it's like just working through the shit.
So here's the thing. 1, your performance is going to lack, so you're not going to gain confidence from it. 2, if you fuel correctly, you should never get to that point in a race.
I mean,
We've talked about this at
it's actually
Me
interesting
neither.
because Megan forwarded me also this this Ritual podcast, the mindset
Oh,
one.
it's a good one.
And it's just like clips of like the best mindset clips from several people.
Oh,
So it's kind of like a potpourri.
You've got like Courtney DeWalter
Yeah.
and
And I actually think if you want to explore that, like getting to a hard place, go listen to that episode, and first listen to this whole episode of this show, and then
Do not
go
leave.
and then go listen to that. But it's really good. There's some tidbits that I really enjoyed. Like Courtney had something that reframed the way that I think about like hitting the wall, like, or hitting that hard spot, where instead of trying, like I've always tried to train to avoid getting to the hard spot so that like I could run well enough that
yeah,
I wouldn't hurt.
right.
And she's like, no, I like getting to the hard spot because that's where I can do my work.
So that's what I kind of mean. Like
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
necessarily, like,
but not
still fuel
nutrition
properly,
wise.
but just like when you go the hardest, you can't just to like experience.
Right, but
Pain in
just
some
do
way.
that through your pace
Speed
and,
workouts or
and
something.
your
yeah,
your
like it
work,
would be much more beneficial
Gotcha.
both, I think,
mentally and
mentally and physically,
physically.
is to you properly fuel and then push yourself to a level of discomfort.
because here's the other thing that happens when you don't get the right nutrition is you get injured.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, it's great if you're doing a depletion run and then you tear muscles or something and you're like, oh, now I can't run at all.
Yeah,
Versus fueling properly, getting the right nutrients to all your tendons and muscles and all that stuff, but then starting to push harder and reach your
okay,
pain and stuff through that.
yeah.
But
I will say I actually felt good until like mile 20, and then I was hit a wall.
and then you were done.
Like
though.
3.5 hours. Yeah, but it again didn't feel great. Like
Did you also have like 20 was your goal?
yeah, so that's the other thing, is that I also knew we had to do more because Matt forgot to like he paused his watch at one point
Oh,
for
no.
a mile, and he was like, I got to do like another mile. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
it had 20 in my head,
See, that's
and then I hit the wall.
yeah. I think
That's a
that
mental
has
thing for
more
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
more to do with it. I find that even with the repeats. So I was doing repeats this morning, and you know, I don't know if it's a second or third repeat where I'm like, depending on how many I'm doing, I usually kind of get a mental rut like in the very beginning first
Right,
couple
because
ones.
once you're over the halfway point, you're kind of like,
Well, no, and then I usually that second to last one is
Oh,
really
really?
tough.
Okay.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
last one I can usually be like, okay, there's the last one, just crank it out.
yeah,
It's that second where you're like, I know I've got two more,
I feel you.
and you're just like, oh, I want to stop. But like I said, listening to that podcast had some useful information for me, stuff that I'm going to take into our 5K on Sunday, our Shamrock 5K.
Oh,
Go to the pain cave.
yeah,
Yeah, well, no, I'm gonna not, instead of being like afraid of when I get there, I'm gonna be like, all right, let's get there, and then we can start doing the work.
yeah. Tommy knocker over here.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about it? Are you ready?
Do
you had
you-
your last workout today?
Yeah, last workout. You know, I'm optimistic that I'm in a good place physically right now. I don't know that I had the best training because of some of the injury stuff leading into it, but I feel really good right now. So I'm excited just to see what happens. And then I'm also trying to use for my personal self. You know, I always think about, well, if it doesn't work out this time, there's next time. And I'm trying to train myself to start thinking more like, hey, this is the moment. This is the time. Who knows if I'll be healthy for the next time, or who knows if something, you know, I do stupid shit all the time, like going on slides and busting my knee. Like if I can get to the line and feel good, like let's see what we can
Take
do.
advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to get out of my head. Like a lot of times I have expectations of where I'd like to be versus where my training and fitness is telling me where I'd be. So like I may have a thing where I like, this is the time I want, even if none of my training aligns it. And then I get finished and I'm like depressed because I didn't hit a time that I didn't have the fitness for. So now I'm kind of like, all right, let's just see what happens. Let's be a little more open-minded with the time. And that worked with that last marathon where I was able to, yeah, I could have been depressed about being 15 seconds over the BQ, but I ran well and I felt great the whole race and I executed the way that I wanted to. If I had known I was that close, yeah, I probably would have been able to punch out the extra time, which is kind of a little bit of regret, but
no regrets, man.
yeah, no regrets. But that's life, and that's the running, and I'm trying to embrace sometimes not being exactly where I want to be.
You should have no expectations for this race because it's free. You got a deferral.
Yeah.
From 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know I had. So.
Oh, you didn't? You're not doing it.
I was signed up. It was the first thing canceled by COVID.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I remember that.
It was literally 12 hours.
I think
we picked up the
you
packet.
Got the bibs.
Yeah, we picked up the bibs.
Yeah, it was like it's over.
Yeah, and that was COVID.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was. We still had entries for it.
Yeah, that's what I used.
So I couldn't do it anyways because Kimmy's away. But yeah. So just do your thing, man.
That's what I'm trying to get into, that kind of headspace where it's just like, just run what I can run.
It's also kind of a party. It starts at 1 p.m.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
yeah.
St. Patty's Day
like,
parade afterwards.
Who cares?
Yeah, you just gotta go.
Yeah.
That is a crazy 1 o'clock start. Do you know what the weather is? It's
40.
Like,
It's going to be in the 40s.
It's gonna be chilly.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
it'd be perfect.
There you go.
It's a perfect course for doing well. It's got a nice downhill
Downhill.
at the beginning. There's a slight uphill as you go into the end of the first mile, and then you just go out flat, come back flat, slight downhill,
And then party
and just
time.
rip to the finish.
By the way, is Baltimore celebrates St. Patrick's Day for like a month? Which is that normal in other places? Because I feel like it's just here.
I feel like it's just here.
Okay.
No, I think people have extended it.
Okay, here
Certainly Boston.
Here in Savannah,
yeah.
Savannah, it's huge.
Savannah, Georgia,
Really? Okay.
I don't know why it's so big in Savannah, but
because
it is huge.
they dye the river green, and
Don't they
it's
do that in
like-
Chicago too? Or is that
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Do they still do that? I feel like they like are.
I don't think
bad
it's
for the
no, I don't think it's bad.
In the Inner Harbor, it's just always green.
Yeah,
It's
ours
a
glows.
That's why we have a month long, because it's like it's already green.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Savannah I've never understood because, southern
Yeah, that's an interesting
town,
one.
but it apparently is like Mardi Gras.
Have
down
you
there.
ever been there for St. Patty's Day?
I haven't, but I know Gavin has.
I have.
And he's like, it's
In
insane.
college.
Really?
It was a wild time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it like Mardi Gras?
It's the same thing. Yes.
Okay.
But just green.
Only green beads.
Yeah. but exactly the same. Like everyone's drinking on the streets, and it's a wild time.
I'm over that stuff, man.
Yeah, me
I was
too.
just going to say, I think Robbie's going to book a trip.
No, my neighbor used to have a St. Patty's Day party that was just ridiculous.
Insane.
And after we had our firstborn, he still had the party, which was 2 days after he was born, and it was crazy.
And you're like, hey, guys.
This
Yeah.
is it. You tapped out after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just but he would have like porta potties, like 8 kegs for that. You know how little
Yeah.
space it is over there.
Yeah, one porta potty would take up 25% of the real estate.
It was like, yeah, there's like hundreds of people that would come through, rattling the windows. Anyways,
I was going to talk about something about reviewing, but I think I'll save it for
Yeah.
another time because we got
Too much to cover.
okay, yeah,
to cover.
let's just
So
keep
why don't
going.
we jump into our mini podcast shoe review section?
Let's do it fast since these
Yeah.
reviews are already up anyways,
Yeah.
or partly.
You want to do the glycerin first?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Brooks Glycerin 20. So we were excited about this because it had the DNA Loft V3 midsole,
Which is in the Aurora BL.
Yep, which was our favorite book shoe in
Ever.
pretty much ever.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I was pretty pumped to get this. It doesn't feel the same as it does in the Aurora BL.
I agree. I think it feels a little blocky. Meg didn't.
I still feel
Me
like it feels better than most Brooks shoes I put on my feet.
I think that's true.
I went out in this and it wasn't for me. This is one of those shoes that blows my mind. This is like a #1 seller. Like this, if you go into a running shoes specialty store, chances are 99% you're going to walk out with a Glycerin 20.
Well, there's like nothing too scary about it, Like it's got got a padded collar and tongue, a simple upper, and a slab of foam with a lot of rubber.
I think that rubber is what killed this for me.
We talked about this a little bit in the review,
Yeah.
but I feel like because of all of that rubber, it might have taken away from that bounce that we got in the Aurora BL.
Definitely.
But even if you feel the size, the durometer of the foam feels
Feels
a
a
lot
little
firmer.
firmer than the BL. Yeah.
And I don't think this shoe's going to die. So if you were going to go buy a running shoe,
Oh, for sure. It's going to last hundreds of miles.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible.
I feel like they're Honda Accords of.
Yeah,
That's exactly it.
I think we just had expectation to be more exciting for how much.
I also
the
unfortunately
RBL.
got a blister and couldn't wear it.
I also
So-
thought it was a little.
But you got a blister only when you wore this because
Yeah.
we're reviewing other shoes. You put this on, you got a blister. You took some time
I even
off.
waited like almost a week. I put on a thicker sock and I tried it again and I got a blister in the exact
yes.
same spot.
Okay.
Yeah. So my feeling was, yeah, it's blocky. I didn't feel it was very responsive. It is. I mean, it's not even flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that ties into the blockiness. Like if you're watching this video on YouTube, I'm trying to like push it together, and I've been lifting weights, and
Yeah, like 5 pounders.
well, 15, but
Oh.
yeah, I keep
actually-
upping it.
Have you actually been doing that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I actually even upped my weights last night,
really?
so
Are you at
even
20?
going- I might be for some of the exercise.
wow.
Look at you getting ready for singlet season.
I am. I'm trying to get that photo ops. Yeah, but
I need to
it's got pretty rigid. I mean, it's pretty rigid for.
I didn't hate the ride like you guys did, but like I said,
I didn't hate it.
unfortunately-
I think I was expecting more.
Like Cush. I think we get spoiled because
I know.
We definitely
we
do.
have these shoes that we get to try that really feel good when you.
But also, they did put our expectations up here with the Aurora BL, and they kind
Yeah,
of
if it was
just
like the normal
dropped.
glycerin, I'd be like, yes.
Right, I feel like we would have had a different review. We would be like, "This is the best foam they've ever made."
I also think this shoe would really benefit from more of a rocker shape
Yeah, I would agree.
because the BL with the decoupled heel gave you kind of almost like a false rocker because it
Right.
could split up and roll through your stride. Where this one, I felt like maybe as part of the reason I think it's blocky, it just didn't. It doesn't transition very
Yeah.
very well.
Speaking of rockers,
Yeah.
Saucony Axon 2.
Right now, this is my budget shoe of the year so
Yeah.
far.
It kind of was like last year too,
yeah,
right?
It was good last year, but it felt like an afterthought. I didn't even think they would have an Axon 2. Do you see how the Axon is almost wearing off?
Oh, yeah.
But
Aeon.
yeah.
Is that just supposed to be like that? It's like 4 dots to make the X.
I think it's supposed to be like that.
Okay. It last year I thought it was like kind of an afterthought, like hey, a test shoe, because it has the same geometry as the Shift, which is like I think what's the Shift, Robbie? $180?
No, it's only 140.
140. Okay, so it has the same shape and feel underfoot, but this is lighter. I feel like it's more responsive, and it rolls through the stride so nicely.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like this shoe because it is just a giant slab of their
it's
power
firm.
run. Yeah, and it's firm. It's not very responsive, but for whatever reason, with the speed roll, is that what they call their
Yeah.
rocker? Their speed roll geometry, it just works.
Yeah, like I was surprised. Both my runs were, I felt like I was giving somewhat of a 8-minute mile effort, like 8.5-minute mile effort, and I was running in the 7s. And I did, a shorter run, and I did a double-digit run,
That's
and both of
crazy.
them, I just felt like I could cruise in it. Like this one is definitely, if I was on a budget and I wanted a race shoe and a training shoe,
Wait, really?
yeah, I would definitely like if I was.
Really?
Yeah, if I was someone who's really financially conscious about my running shoes, I feel like you could definitely use this as a.
The only thing is I wouldn't like that for my recovery day. Like I want something a little softer. It's a little firm
Yeah,
for
but
like,
that's
a
when
true
you-
recovery day.
That's when you start not being conscious about
Oh, sure.
your shoe.
Yeah.
Like if I said you have one shoe that you could run in and needs to do it, this can do a lot for
Of all the
$100.
shoes though.
For $100.
Okay.
For I'm
Okay.
saying budget, but yeah, and you know what? Even some more expensive shoes, I would say this shoe would be more useful, more like Swiss Army knife. But that's about. I mean,
Cool.
that's it for this.
Yeah. Okay.
You got some news this week, Robbie. Like people are doing stuff. They're out in the woods with Laz.
Oh, the Barkley
They're
Marathons are
winning,
going on.
winning Green Monster races down in Jacksonville.
Yeah. The Barkley Marathons always just happens, and I'm like, it's like in the middle of it, and we find out.
But they don't like make. I feel like they just start it. Like they don't
Right.
really make a big deal of it. They don't even really tell you who's on the
The guy
starting
smokes
line.
a cigarette to do the start.
yeah.
So
I
it's
respect
not.
that.
It's not.
It's like secretive, but not. I don't, it's very.
Yeah,
It's
it's actually pretty interesting how secretive it is, since it's not secretive anymore.
Since it's
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah,
I mean, there's documentaries. You can watch 20 different documentaries on it.
yeah. There's always like now huge crews at the start and finish.
I saw someone posted, I forget where, but they were like, don't out someone on the starting line if they haven't announced it.
Yeah,
Like people are running, but they don't want you to know they're running because,
until like the first results come in or something. Yeah,
which I don't understand that
I
part,
don't know
but
either.
So explain that to me again. I don't understand.
Like they, unless someone wanted to announce that they're running it, they didn't want people like saying, "Oh, these
Check
people
out
were at the
Robbie's
race."
running.
Yeah.
So
by the way,
how did
if
you
anyone
do?
doesn't know what the Barkley Marathons is,
Yeah.
give them like a 2-second.
Yeah, it's in Tennessee. It's run by this guy named Laz Lake, who puts on like crazy ultra marathons, and this is one of the craziest ones on earth, where you have to traverse this. It's called Frozen Head State Park in Tennessee, and you do 5 loops of this course.
But it's orienteering. It's not always the same course.
It's not. There's like no trail for most of it.
Yeah.
So you're just in the woods, and you have to collect pages from books to show like you made each checkpoint, and like put them in a plastic bag and bring them back.
in order.
Yeah, and so it's so you have to get the pages in order, and it's each loop is around a marathonish length, and you have to do 5 loops, and you like switch the order that you do the loops every time.
And if you don't make it to the gate, in a certain amount of time.
so the start and finish is at this like it's like a gate to a park, and you basically have to like touch the gate for. There's a time limit on each loop, and then for the whole race. And
Didn't one guy mess up because he came in through the gate the wrong way?
yeah,
or
so if
didn't
you
touch it?
kind of, it's like, so there's a YouTube documentary that Ginger Runner did called "Where Dreams Go to Die" on Gary Robbins, and this is like his life goal to do this, finish this race. He made several attempts, and then he came in at like, spoiler alert, he got. I mean, a lot of people hallucinate and lose their bearings because it's like just you're in the middle of the woods, and you're awake for like 50, 60 hours.
Yeah.
And I think the elevation's like doing Everest like several times. And anyways, so he ended up missing the cutoff by like a minute, but he also came in from the wrong direction. So I think he was probably more like 10 minutes behind, but it was like heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, but the world's greatest ultra runners like come to do this race, and it's very secretive. Like nobody knows like
Your
how
cost
you
of
get
entry is
in.
your license plate.
Yeah, you just have to bring a license plate. I think you have to bring him a pack of cigs or like something like that.
Okay.
Or a white shirt or socks. He
A
changes.
shirt,
He
yeah.
changes it every year. I think what you have to
I
bring.
know it was a shirt at one point.
Yeah, and then and then it's a lot of orienteering / so that's why some of the greatest ultra runners like Courtney and Walter already dropped this year, because it's just like a shit show.
Well, Laz has said, and I think this is more of a challenge than a belief, but he said no women can finish this race.
Yeah, which is definitely just like he says shit to just like
poke.
Yeah.
Like get him out there.
Clearly, he wants someone to do it.
Yeah.
Because only like 15 people have ever finished it, I think, and the weather there is bananas. Though something about its topography is that you can be at the start and it'll be 65 and sunny, and then that night it's freezing rain and fog and torrential downpours and 30 degrees. You know, it's like I think the one race dropped like 50 degrees in like 6 hours.
So it's like Baltimore now.
Yeah. At this time of year. Anyways, so yeah, as of now, I think there's a lot of people dropped. I think John Kelly, who won it a couple years ago, is still in it and winning.
Yeah, I think there's only a few people in it
Yeah.
now.
I think Carl Saab, who won. He won one of those like backyard races. I think he has like the world record for it. I think he's from Belgium. I think he's in second.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I don't think anybody outside the U.S. has ever won it, have they?
I don't think so. Now that you mention that. But anyways, it's just a crazy race. So there's this guy named Keith Dunn on Twitter.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
still
was
have
just
no
looking
idea
up.
who this guy is or how he got like the official like. I don't even think he uses Twitter like the rest of the year, and he just is like tweets from the Barclays, and he's like the only way you can get updates on the race.
That's amazing.
It's like it's like so weird. But anyways, so follow him if you're trying to get some
Updates.
and watch the documentary if you haven't, either the one on YouTube Where Dreams Go to Die or the Netflix one. So we can move on to the Gate River Run real quick.
In case anyone missed it, Emily Sisson took the win
Again.
for the women.
And beat all the men.
Trip M's on the top.
Yeah, 3 Emilys for the podium.
Yeah, explain that, how it works, though, for that they...
The equalizer?
Yeah, the equalizer.
So they have an equalizer where the women go out 6 minutes ahead of the men. And if a woman is the first one to cross the finish line, then she wins the race overall.
And is there like money tied to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think there's like a 10K prize bonus or something
Sick.
for beating the men. So
did
yeah.
she do it again?
So it's the second time she did it. Yeah, she was the first person to cross
She's
the
a
line.
boss.
She beat all of the other women by 2 minutes.
Whoa. And one of our guests recently was Annie Frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Annie. What was Annie Frisbee's? Was it a tweet or Instagram post? Where
Yeah.
Can you paraphrase it?
She went out too fast, which is like exactly what her coach said not to do. And she's like, I'm not going to do that. And she said something along the lines of, well, if it isn't wait, what was it? Shit.
It was so good. Anyway, while Megan's looking that up, the race has a pretty substantial. That bridge at the end is like a heartbreak hill kind of situation.
Oh, okay.
So
do you run other bridges or is that like the bridge?
that's the bridge.
Okay.
So you're running and then you hit that in the last bit. You got it, Meg?
Yeah, she said, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Nice.
So I think a lot of people went out fast and then blew up a little bit.
I mean, she still did well.
Oh, yeah. It was still a really fun race. What I was shocked about was our guy, Galen Rupp.
Oh, yeah. I saw that he finished 6th or something.
7th.
7th. And then so Nico Montañez, who was an ASICS athlete, do you think he's wearing the SB's guy?
I do. I think that all
The
of them
second,
were-
the second version?
Yeah, of course. I think that
didn't
all
see
their
it.
athletes are running. I know Emma's Bates has been running in it. They're kind of camouflaging it to look similar to what is already out there.
Yeah, he finished in 43:09 and 4 seconds behind him. Wow, that's close. Was Leonard Carrier, who's won twice before and who was represent the U.S. in the Olympics in the marathon.
Yep.
So we had 2 Olympic marathoners running that race, Galen and
Yeah,
Leonard.
That's a crazy race.
it's a good one.
And you know who else was running it? Aldrin.
Yeah.
Our boy Aldrin Biala.
He finished top 100.
Did he?
Yeah, he finished 99th.
I didn't see his time.
Which I don't think he was really happy with his time, but I'm like,
At that field, that's
at that,
pretty
yeah,
good.
that's insane, dude.
Yeah, he's our stability reviewer. If nobody knows, so if you have stability,
He's also just funny as
Yeah.
F and just nice to be around.
cool dude. All right. And then obviously Tokyo.
Yeah. I mean, we have to talk about Iliad
Yeah.
because now he has won 4 out of the 6 majors.
Yeah, look out, New York and Boston. Here we come.
I'm hoping he goes to New York this year.
I am too. I hope when we go to New York this year.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's probably out for Boston since it's, in a few weeks. Although, who is doing the double?
Yeah.
Sarah Hall.
Oh, really?
She was in Tokyo. She did a 2:22 there, which I know was not her goal, but it sounds like she put it all out there and went out on goal pace, and
Really?
it just didn't come together at the end. But she's going to be towing the line at Boston.
Now, we saw Molly posting about the coverage of women's marathon
Yeah.
in Tokyo. What did you think of the coverage? Did you watch?
So you and I watched on an interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, did you watch any other coverage than what we saw?
I didn't see any other coverage, but even though we couldn't understand what they were saying, the
Yeah,
coverage.
what we did is we snuck onto a Japanese internet feed.
The coverage was
Oh, gotcha.
primarily the Japanese men and the overall men, and then every once in a while you'd see a woman.
Do you know what else? Did they hold the tape for everybody who crossed?
That's what I don't understand. Did you watch any of the coverage?
No, I missed it.
So
the
Robbie,
first 5 guys that came in all broke the tape. And I was talking to someone, and I was like, what if you were like in that marathon mind where you're like delirious and like you
You
come
see the
up and you
tape
see the
come out.
tape and you're like, I just won.
I would think. I would assume I'd win
but
something.
I'm not sure if the tape didn't keep coming out
I'm like,
because
I think everyone breaks the
the
tape
coverage, the coverage
Stop.
went out. Or maybe they're just like, well, these guys are all going to be placing either age group or, somehow.
Yeah.
But I stopped watching before anyone stopped breaking tape.
Yeah, tape kept coming out.
Like the same piece of tape? Or
Yeah.
there's like magnets or whatever?
No, they got a Velcro strip.
Yeah.
It was like, psst, bob it, line it back up. And it was odd.
Trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Or they just let go of one side.
If anyone
I don't know.
knows about this tape situation, let us know.
Yeah, but a lot of people breaking the tape.
Yeah.
Did you ever? I saw some video. Maybe I don't think it was from this, but it was like
Were they trying to get it out of the way?
Yeah,
Tape?
so they're like holding it over people's heads one after another. The guys coming through, and then
I
wait
never.
for the woman.
Yeah, I don't. It was bad.
I'm going through that tape.
It looked like Frogger.
Yeah.
Like, it was like they had the tape out for the woman coming in, but
That was
guys kept
that
coming
was
through.
the tape people's fault.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
finish line
right,
people.
right.
Like they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think they
But
should
you-
just start doing it with instead of breaking the tape, they should paintball the person who comes in first.
okay, that's a deterrent, I think, from finishing
yeah.
first.
Or they should have had a women's shoot and the men's shoot,
Right.
at least for the
They do that
winners.
in several races.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
All
enough
right.
banter for today.
You
All
think
right.
so?
We really went along here.
I don't know. Anyway, Iliad, you're the GOAT.
Yeah.
You're the greatest of all time. It's non-disputed. I don't think anybody can say otherwise. Like, you're one of those athletes that comes around
Yeah.
once every generation, and this is incredible that we get to witness this because it sure is fun.
Yeah. If you're listening, obviously you're listening.
Of course he's listening.
Listen to this every week.
Yeah. I mean, he's up in my DMs all the time.
Yeah. So this week we're talking to Steven Sashin of Zero Running Shoes. Man, we went deep into the zero.
We did. I almost
The
feel like
minimalist running.
Robbie almost drank the Kool-Aid. I felt like by the end of it, Robbie was ready to shed his shoes and hit the
I'm
soccer
waiting for
field.
our pair to arrive, dude, and then I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out of this running biz.
Guys, you've seen Robbie's last shoe review. He's only going to do barefoot and
He
Minimal-
says as he
minimal
put on a
shoes.
minimal shoe for his last loops in Oregon Ridge and said how horrible it was.
Yeah. What's amazing is that as I was coming in the office this morning, a guy passed me running in. I think they were zero shoes. They were definitely minimal, like nothing to them.
But you weren't running. He just passed you because you were like.
No, the guy was
walking.
running past me.
Okay.
In zero.
What I'm trying to
shoes.
say, was he beating you on the run or was he just
He
running
looked-
past
I'm
you?
not gonna lie, he looked pretty fit.
I know. The barefoot guys always look really strong.
Because
Yeah.
they're like gym dudes.
No, he was like a skinny, like because
Oh.
I was like, oh, who's this guy? I'd run past him and check. He had shocks. I was
Nice.
like looking at his shoes. I was like, what?
That's
For real?
crazy. I also saw somebody running. It's pouring rain here today, this morning. And I was driving the kids to school and this guy was wearing the knit pom-pom cap.
From Grit or just general.
I think just in general, but it was like rain. I was like, that's a bad hat choice.
There was no right way to
rain.
dress today. I understand that guy. It was cold and raining. And if you started earlier, it wasn't raining.
I guess so.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
you did it for the Jacksonville race. You wear the cap with the
That's what I did this
buff.
morning.
Yeah, that's a good combo right there.
Yeah.
I never even saw that before. That's pretty cool. I forgot to tell you that was cool.
Because it's windy.
I learned it from the Boston Marathon. All the ladies did it.
Okay.
All the single ladies.
Yeah.
Nope.
And married ladies.
Yeah.
All
Most of them.
Well, there's no song for all the married
Okay,
ladies.
we just ruined the intro.
All right. So,
Zero
anyway,
shoes.
Steven Sashin is coming up, man of the zero minimal running scene, and
I love his passion.
yeah, no, it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up after this.
Yeah.